Yeah, Live 25, we saying people, hey, listen, it's do you know what? I'm feeling vibes. I'm feeling vibes, I'm feeling energy, I'm feeling positive. Life can be hard, people. Like there's a lot of negative stuff going on in the world over. And it's easy to kind of fall into that spiral of only looking at the bad situations. And obviously sometimes they get your back up, and when things are not not equal and unjust and unfair. And what I mean, I'm a man that likes to promote equality, and I like to see the underdog win. I don't like to see um I don't like to see situations where people are being oppressed, or the regime is keeping people down and that kind of thing, people. But at the same time, sometimes you got to look at life, and you got to thank the man upstairs, and you really got to count your blessings and say, hey, big up Chronic Law, by the way, count your blessings. That track's hard. I digress. If you haven't listened to that track, I recommend you go check it out. Track's hard. We need to react to that one as well still. Anyway, people, let me not digress too much. The point I'm trying to make here is you really got to count your blessings, and just be thankful for the things in life. Sometimes things will get you down, and everyone the world over is going through tough times right now, like economically, financially, socially, spiritually. But sometimes cooler heads can prevail, and we just got to look to the positive things in life. And where there's a negative situation, we can always spin it, flip it around, and create a positive outcome. And that's the kind of vibe I'm on today, people. That's the type of vibe I'm on. And I think that energy and that kind of vibe is must have also touched Sizzla Kalonji, because I'm not gonna get into the background situation. So as you know, a little while ago there was a little online kind of back and forth between Sizzla and DJ Khaled over a platinum plaque that Sizzla wasn't happy about. If you want to know the full context of that, we've already done a reaction video. The link will be up in the top of your screen right about now, so go check it out. But this is kind of a follow-up to that. This is a bit of a part two, and I think, things have kind of taken a turn for the better, shall we say. So let me not go too far into it. I want to play you a little video, show you what Sizzla's had to say about the situation, and then we're going to talk about it afterwards, people.
Rastafari, Bobo Shanti, Naya Bingi, 12 tribe, Orthodox, Selassie, Judah Coptic, 12 tribes. Ragamali, bless up yourself. You don't know him, bless up yourself. I don't know, big up yourself. Ricky General, Alo Zaid, and all of my artist brother, them, you've lost your child, My condolence. Big up Buju Banton, same way. Big up Bounty Killer. Big up everyone. Big up yourself, DJ Khaled. Big up everyone who make platinum. Oh, Dada burn the plaque. That's how you go, Sizzla love bonfire. Rastafari, Africa. Vanity, vexation of the soul. Just live in love. Praise the Most High. Every time, man. Every time. Rastafari.
Before we talk about what you said just there, I just wanna let's just take a moment and just RIP to King Khalif, because I lost a loved one recently, and so I'm kind of in that headspace where sometimes you just gotta give thanks and blessings, and while people are here, you gotta show love and them kind of things. But losing a child, that's obviously that's a whole different thing. So yeah, just a massive condolence to King Khalif and Idonia, and yeah, RIP, man, blessings every time. So all right, now we got that part out of the way. I just thought like it's powerful for Sizzla to say that we can't lose sight of that, and it just seems like in general he's on positive vibes. I don't know, like we discussed before that he seemed upset with DJ Khaled about the platinum plaque and what have you, and it seems like cooler heads have prevailed, and there's bigger things in life, people. There's bigger things in life, like we're talking about King Khalif as an example, but there's many people across the world that have either lost their life or are going through hard times. And when it comes to you know, something like a platinum plaque, realistically, in the whole scheme of things, how important is it? You know, some people, some loved ones aren't with us anymore. So I'm glad he said that. I'm glad he called that out, but I'm glad that he said, big up DJ Khaled. And he said something key there. Let me wheel it up quickly. He said something else that caught my eye. So it caught my ear.
Vanity, vexation of the soul. Just live in love. Praise the Most High.
See, you said vanity, vexation in the soul. That's do you know what he's talking to there? He's talking about ego, really. He's talking about an ego, like, so we speculated before that maybe there was a deeper issue with Khaled, why he burnt the plaque, but maybe it was his ego just got the better of him at the time, and he's come to realize that, and he's apologetic, and you know, maybe he's had conversations with Buju, maybe he's had conversations with Bounty Killer, Capleton, and you know, maybe he's had conversations with DJ Khaled. You know, in the great words of Mahatma Gandhi, when the ego dies, the soul awakes, people. Let that one sink in, people. When the ego dies, the soul awakes. Even Albert Einstein, one of his famous quotes is, more the knowledge, less of the ego, more the knowledge. So again, people, that one makes perfect sense to me. Do you know what I mean? Ego is a killer, man. Literally. How many people have lost their life over just an ego? But that Albert Einstein, you know, more the knowledge, less of the ego, less of the knowledge, more the ego. That's certainly more easy to understand in his theory about relativity. Do you know what I mean? That one I think is everyone can understand where he's coming from. But yeah, so it's the same thing what Sizzla is saying here, man. You know, vanity and vexation, like, that's always gonna cloud one's judgment, you know? Like, you feel like you're hard done by, but when you look at it on a deeper level, and when you look at life in its essence, like what is a platinum plaque? It's just a piece of wood and a photo. Like, it's not really that deep. So I'm glad, you know, he looks like he's on a vibe. Even he shouted out Bounty Killer and Buju there as well, I think. So yeah, bless him, man. Let me play the rest of the video for you anyway, man. I feel like I'm gonna shed a tear right now, people. I don't know, man. But you know how it goes.
Big up all of my rappers. Big up yourself. Zambia, Algeria,
NYC,
New York City,
yeah.
Church on 31st. Yeah. Big up on yourself. Big up all of my rappers, them. All of my R&B singers, them. Big up on yourself. Big up on the Caribbean Queen, same way. Ladies, big up yourself. I'm say ladies, Caribbean Queen artist. I say Rihanna, Caribbean Queen artist. Big up the first time such a woman, them, Carleen and Pinky and Spider, them. Wow. You know me, I'm saying Earth Angel too. Big up little youths, them, we dance to make a money. We now do nothing violent. You know what I'm saying? Pops, Boom Sunday, Weddy. Elephant Man, big up yourself. Capleton, Buju Banton. Big up on yourself. Shabarang, Super Cat. Big up on yourself. Waterhouse. Big up on yourself. Yeah. Mount
Hey, big up Sizzla Kalonji. You know what? The beautiful thing about that is man just looks happy. You know, that's the thing. It's like, we're all human at the end of the day. You can say things, or you can act out of ego. You can act out of spite or maliciousness. Or, do you know what? Sometimes you're just having a bad day. When he received that plaque from DJ Khaled, you don't know what man could have been going through that day, or what happened in his personal life. Sometimes, like, we're all human in it. Sometimes man just has a bad day, and you take something wrong. You take something out of context, and that's how it goes. But man looks happy. He's bigging up everyone, should I say. Foundation, Shabba, Buju, K-pop. He was shouting out everyone. Do you know what I mean? A man was skinning tea. He just looked happy, like he was in a good place. And, you know, you can't begrudge a man that, you know, can make an error, but then come back and apologize or shout out the man that you were cussing a little while ago. That takes that's what it's all about. Because at the end of the day, no one got hurt, no one really got violated. It was just egos involved, and you know that's how we have to be, man. Like I said, this video is about unity, and the vibe I'm on at the moment is more is on unity. And you know, even a video we posted the other day about Sam Smith, and is Sam Smith is it cultural appropriation for him to do a dancehall record? And you know, in some of the comments, people were saying, well, you know, there's bigger problems in the world than Sam Smith doing a dancehall record. And I agree, there are bigger problems in the world. There are bigger problems in Jamaica, in the United Kingdom, America, the world over. Do you know what I mean? However, it's kind of, I feel like I need to clarify the point I was making. So the point isn't that Sam Smith can't do dancehall music. Sam Smith can do what he wants. Sometimes it's just about, you know, if you change the face of something that's helping people make money from disenfranchised communities, like if we look at Afro beats as an example and compare that to dancehall, Afro beats and the top Afro beats artists, Wizkid, Burna Boy, they're doing stadium tours all over the world. But the infrastructure, even the economics, the sheer numbers of people that are in Ghana, Nigeria, West Africa, the Africa as a whole, as a continent, it far outweighs the amount of people that are in Jamaica. So that particular industry, the Afrobeats industry, is difficult to compare to dancehall because Jamaica is such a small island by comparison. So there's a lot of wealth and investment and resources going on in West Africa right now. And that is manifested in the way the music has carried itself around the world. Do you get what I'm saying? And so them doors are now open where people can say, right, Afro beats, that's a genre that I want to get involved with. And there's been a lot of collaboration between the artists that I've already mentioned and like superstars, pop artists. Do you know what I'm saying? So, you know, the platform is there and that's all well and good. It's mutually beneficial. But where dancehall music is something that's come out of Jamaica, you know, Jamaica doesn't have the same numbers and resource and investment and infrastructure as some of those African countries that I've named. So for someone like Sam Smith to come along, yes, do the music, yes, respect the music and the artistry and the culture and do all the rest of it. But I feel like you can't just come and make money out of the culture without giving back. And if you're giving back behind the scenes, maybe you're writing hit records for certain artists to give them a boost and to help them get a fan base outside of Jamaica or the States or the UK or Canada, like where dancehall's mainstream. Maybe you're helping them in that regard behind the scenes. I don't know. I'm speculating. But what I'm saying is there's not a long history of people going in and taking from dancehall and actually giving back. So I'm a little bit skeptical. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Like, if he's doing that, then big him up. I'm not saying because he's a certain way inclined or like his sexual preference. I'm not even talking about none of that. I'm talking about if you want to benefit from a culture, you have to give back to the culture. And part of that is like the video, like what Sizzla just done here. It's about showing love and showing respect to the OGs, to the pioneers, to the foundation. It's like you can't step up in the rap music and not pay homage to Rakim, KRS-One, the originators, and talk about you're a lyricist, but you don't respect what these man done that paved the way. Do you get what I'm trying to say? It's like you can't go to certain areas in the world like and not check in with the OGs that will say, all right, like you're good here. It's just sometimes that's not a good thing. I'm not saying I support that in every situation, but it's like sometimes you got to tip your hat and give respect to the people that paved the way to enable you to feed your family off of this music here. It's not a joke thing. Like you're like, let me give you an example again. I don't want the point I was trying to make is I don't want the face of dancehall in 10 years from now to look like different to say a Sizzla, to a Buju, to a Capleton, back to a Bob Marley, a Peter Tosh. That's the face of dancehall. 10 years from now, if we don't set our values and set our benchmark and set our expectations to say you can only come in this thing if you work with certain artists, or you pay homage, or you give back to the country, give back to the culture. If we don't say that now, 10 years from now, you might look around and say, Jamaican youths can't even make money out of dancehall because the whole landscape's changed, and now it's a white dominant thing, or it's an American dominant thing, or it's a British dominant thing. Do you see what I'm trying to say? And now people are struggling to eat. Now, what's going to happen in 10 years if you don't even have dancehall music as an outlet? And that's the point I was trying to make, people. I'll give you another example. Let's say it's like you go back to the Dark Ages, right? And so in the 5th, 6th century, and all of a sudden you come out of the Dark Ages in the so-called Renaissance in the 15th century, or whatever the case may be, and all of a sudden Jesus's face is white. Every painting, every reference, every artistry with regard to Jesus shows a white face. So they call it the Dark Ages. You know, that's another video for another time. And in fact, we're going to get into those kind of things. We're going to get into the origins of and the history of culture and how it affects mainstream and kind of what my views are on that. We're going to get into all that, people. But you're going to go from the Dark Ages, come out the other side, and all of a sudden Jesus' face is white. You can't find no recollection or no history or no documentation of a black Jesus. And it don't make no sense. So if someone back then had stood up and said, wait, hold on, this whole white Jesus thing, you know, you need to check in. You can't just say that Jesus was white and rare tear and checked it at source. Maybe today, modern history would be more reflective of the truth. And that's the only thing I'm trying to say. Sam Smith, do your thing. But at the same time, you can't take the thing. You have to be almost invited. You have to pay homage. You have to respect how it should run. Whether that be being invited by an OG such as Sizzla, however that may go. Anyway, people, I think you understand my point. But all in all, listen, let me not bring the vibe down, because this is a positive video. I love the energy that Sizzla was showing. Man just looked happy. Do you know what I mean? There's no issue with DJ Khaled. However that came about, maybe DJ Khaled said, look, I got the bag for you. Like, you know what I mean? Like, just throw out a little big up to me. But it looked very genuine to me. That's what I'll say. It looked very genuine. Looks like the beef is squashed. And we move people. You know what I mean? Anyway, thanks for watching. Like always, let me know your thoughts in the comments. Drop a like on your way out. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, you know what it is, man. You know it makes sense, people. Anyway, till the next one, Live 25, we're out.